Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. And here's the last week 3 video that I'll be producing. As you have on the Grade A Flicks channel, you have Grade A Fantasy. Talking to you guys about Underdog Fantasy. Let's get right into it. As you see on the screen there, obviously the free square that you have to apply to in a couple of days will be the CD Lamb over half a yard. Fine, that's kind of easy to get. That's really no big issue. What I'm here to talk about are my grade A picks and what I feel is an A minus pick if you want to correlate with one of the grade A picks. So let's get right into it. So what I like here this week, we're gonna go right to the Denver. We're gonna go right to this Denver game, and for one of my grade A picks, we're obviously gonna go to my man, excuse me, Chris Godwin. We're gonna go with, I like his 5.5 receptions. I like the 66.5 yards. I'm gonna go with the yardage pick this week. Once again, in the first 2 weeks, when the wide receiver core goes against Denver, once again, I like to illuminate, they gave up a lot of that, what they used to call the no-fly zone over the past, I wouldn't say 4 years, maybe 3 years, as they try to reconstruct the team after the Russell Wilson debacle and all the picks that they gave up for him, and also they gave up more picks to get Sean Payton. Literally, they're a one-side shutdown. So, what do I mean by that? In the first 2 games, whoever's played Denver, star wide receiver has been shut down. Game 1, Metcalf, 3 receptions, 29 yards. George Pickens for Pittsburgh, 2 receptions, 29 yards. Going against lockdown shadow Pat Surtain. He's going to hold on and shadow with the number 1, which is Mike Evans. So we're going to go with Chris Godwin to attack the other weaker half and also the weaker slot. So 66.5 is my pick with Chris Godwin. And guess what? Since we're talking about correlation, we're going to back out of this and we're going to look for my boy Mike Evans, because when I did my research, they kept him at about the same yardage. So 4.5 is a bit dangerous. Why? Wide receivers could get screens if they're trying to, if a team is really trying to see it, instead of going one-on-one deep, maybe they try to get some blocking in front of him and stuff like that. Plus, goal line touches. So I don't want to touch, because of the target volume, I don't want to touch it. Like I said, so far in the first 2 weeks, 2 number 1 wide receivers haven't gotten more than 3, 2 and 3. So I don't want to do the 4.5 receptions. But what I will do, but this is the A minus pick. I just wanted to get to this because it correlates with what I just said. So with Pat Surtain shutting down the number 1, this can be a correlation. So we'll go lower on the 66.5 with Mike Evans. We'll get to my 2 grade A picks, as I could switch to NFL tab and I'll just scroll all the way down. Sorry if this bothers your eyes, because I do want to just get these 2 guys together. I think they're one of the later games, if I'm not mistaken, but we're going to get to the Raiders in a bit. There goes the Tampa Bay Denver game, Tennessee. I will get to this game in a bit, so I'll keep this tab open as one of my A minus picks, Giants and Cleveland. I do like a couple of picks there. They go Seattle, Miami. There we go. Okay, that took a little bit. But what I like here is my other 2 grade A props. I have 3. And I think they're definitely too low for this game situation. Zamir White for 58.5 rushing yards. Like I said, they're going against the weak. He's the bell cow. Gets the most touches out of the backfield for the first 2 weeks. Plus, this is the worst rush defense, worse than Denver's rush defense. So 58.5 for Zamir White. I'm definitely going high on that one. And these props are way too low. Why I say that is because the way these props are set up, in the first 2 games, Brock Bowers has basically doubled up. He has basically doubled up on those props right there. In week 1, if I'm not mistaken, he has 8 receptions, or possibly 8 and 9, if I'm not mistaken. I'm just looking at my research right here for the last 2 weeks. And 46.5 receiving, 4.5 receptions. I honestly say you could flip a coin with this one. In the first 2 weeks, he had 8 targets and 9 targets, 9 receptions, 6 receptions, 98 and 58. This is a home run right here. I'm sorry, but this is way too low. And he has a good matchup because with Carolina, worse defense. They're worse against the tight end. They're worse against the running back, giving up the most fantasy points in those two positions. So Zamir White correlates with also the volume of Brock Bowers. I guess I'll take. I mean, there's no multiplier for each one, so I'll just take, because of the volume. I'll just take. It's a coin flip. Take what you want. 4.5 receptions, or if you want to get fancy, you could raise them up to try and get a bonus. The yardage jumps to 59.5. If you're not gonna do that, then you could go to the receptions, tap that, and see if he's gonna go over 5.5 to get 6. It's a 1.41 multiplier. Either way, but if you keep it regular, I think it's a smash. This ticket alone, I really like it with the free squares with CeeDee Lamb. If you was to enter this ticket here, as you can see here, it's a $10 max. It's a $10 max if you leave the CeeDee Lamb one in. Now, if you take the CeeDee Lamb pick out, what are the other picks that I like? Like I said, the Mike Evans, if you want to correlate it, that's like an AA minus right there. I really think it's an A, because Patrick Surtain is pretty solid. I do like attacking. Let's go back up. I know it was a matchup that I just seen. Yes, because I moved the tab, so we'll get to it faster. I do like attacking the Giants defense in this game. Yes, I know you can't trust Cleveland because of how bad Deshaun Watson is, but I think that prop for Amari Cooper in this kind of lineup is too low. So taking out the Amari Cooper, if you want to build a bigger card and go to full Monty, I like 51.5 for Amari Cooper. And also against one of the worst, I think bottom 5 in rush defense, I think you're looking at a nice A minus prop with Jerome Ford. I think that's definitely a solid way. He's definitely a bell cow and dominates the touches there. He's had 44 and 64 yards rushing. Obviously, he had the 64 with a better matchup against Jacksonville. So I think with a similar matchup with the rush defense, similar matchup like the Giants, even on the road, I do like Jerome Ford for 51.5. Amari Cooper, I would say that's an A minus. Jerome Ford's an A. And those are pretty much my popular picks. The only other pick that I did see that did catch my eye without being a free square, I'll just try and find. I'm not gonna make the screen go crazy. I actually like Tony Pollard. He's taking over for Tajay Spears. You're gonna have to really like this prop. He's bound to get, either because of the volume that he gets, Tony Pollard is bound to get, he's even liable to get the 80.5. I think you should love the 80.5 even more if Tajay Spears is ruled out, because there won't be no stealing of the goal line, stealing of the passing downs, but it seems to not really matter. He seems to have taken control of the Tennessee backfield. 16 and 17 rush attempts, 62 and 82 yards. I'm not worried about him just having one touchdown, but also 4 targets in the backfield. That offense is not that good, so Will Levis will be chucking it down to him. He has a total of 8 receptions in the first 2 games for 52 yards. Last week he was a combined. He's pretty much broken both props by a lot. If 80.5 is the prop, he had 82 yards rushing by itself to add 12 yards receiving. Last week, 62 yards rushing, which breaks the rushing prop, 40 yards receiving, which breaks the receiving prop, and then I think if we click more, what's his receptions? I think he's broken that too, 2.5. So everything is set too low for Tony Pollard. If you're looking for a full card, this would be what I'm going for. I'm actually going to try to attempt this one. But if I'm not mistaken, I think if you made me pick one, obviously it's Green Bay, not the best run defense. I don't think I like I said, I've never liked Green Bay run defense over the years. So, and I think this is another good matchup, even though they do rank first Even though they do rank first, I think Tony Pollard, just the volume alone, Tony Pollard can get the 58 and a half rushing yards, 2.5 receptions. I mean, there's so many places you can go here, to be honest. I really don't know, but let's just say, what should I go with? Damn it, pick one, man. You know what? I'm just gonna go with what my notes said, and I like, because I did say 58 and a half or the 85. You know what? The rushing volume is just too much there. I like the 58 and a half for him. And then obviously as you keep going, you could keep adding on picks. But what I like here is, if you're going to go with this, without the CeeDee Lamb prop, obviously it's adding CeeDee Lamb limits to what you can bet. But if you do add the CeeDee Lamb, go right on ahead. But these are my favorite 6 props. Well, my favorite 3 props are Zamir White, Brock Bowers, and Chris Godwin. If you want to add the Mike Evans prop, the Mike Evans prop is more of a correlation. Like I said, I'm one of those fantasy people that love using that as an advantage, because the volume eventually, because when somebody's getting shut down like that, you're going to try and get them involved. By late third, fourth quarter, it's like, yeah, we're just going to go somewhere else, because you're going to make some attempts to go against Surtain, but eventually it's going to go to, if he plays Rashad White screen passes, it's going to go to Godwin in the slot. And probably McLaughlin, the young rookie who's shown some flashes here and there. Chris Godwin and Mike Evans is a correlation play. And I just think because of the matchup, I think the Zamir White and Brock Bowers props are too low. To be honest, prop-wise, the Zamir White, setting up a prop should make you think about it. It should be at like maybe another 10 yards higher, and Brock Bowers should be closer to like 50. And also, I think it's the same thing. I think Brock Bowers, that prop should be set at least another 12 and a half yards higher than what it is. But there you go. Once again, my top plays, my top 3 grade A plays: Godwin over 66 and a half, Zamir White over 58 and a half rushing, Brock Bowers over 46 and a half. Correlation plays, like I said, it's more like an A, because I really think, Surtain will shut that down. Mike Evans to go under 66 and a half. And then other plays that I like, that are like A minuses: Amari Cooper over 51 and a half, and Tony Pollard 58 and a half. But what's my most confident card? Those are other plays that I like. I most likely will do the 3 and a 4 card and just see how it goes. These 4 picks right here, by itself, just regular, is your basic times 6. Obviously, if you standard and power play it, it's a times 10x. So do what you will, but that's what I like here. So I hope you guys like the preview. Once again, this is the last video of me uploading anything for week 3. Good luck with your research. Good luck with your underdog picks. This is Grade A Fantasy on Underdog Fantasy on the Grade A Flicks channel. Good luck. I'm signing off.